Okay, so let's go ahead and try a dihybrid cross, which is a little bit more complicated. Here now we have two individuals which are heterozygous for both of the characters. So we're going to revisit the free and attached earlobes and the hypercholesterolemia versus the normal condition. So if we write here, we have capital E equals free. Okay, so that's dominant, and then lowercase e is attached. And then we have hypercholesterolemia, that's dominant. Okay, and then we have two individuals which are heterozygous for both of the characters. So first what you want to do is do FOIL to determine the potential gametes that they will be contributing to the next generation. Now both of them are the same, so we can go ahead and do one of them, and then we can use that for both. So FOIL, we've got first, so we have this one, and then outer, and then the inner, and then the last. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go make a huge Punnett square because we're going to need 16 squares in order to complete this. Each individual is going to contribute. Okay, so finishing the Punnett square. So again, since both of them have the same genotype for each of the characters, they're going to have the same potential gametes. So we can go ahead and fill that in this way. Lowercase. All right. Then I put the letters together so that it makes more sense and it's easier to interpret later. Now, as you can see, I'm leaving a bunch of space on the bottom of the box, and this will give me space to actually write the interpretation under it, so it'll be easier to count later and keep track of what the phenotypes are. So again, these are the genotypes. Remember, just the letters that represent the traits that are associated with characters. Right? Now, the phenotype is what you see, and what is the result from that genotype. All right, we're almost there. This is one that'll make your hand hurt.
No, man, I'll figure something out. Even if the scrapyard doesn't give me anything for it, I just gotta get rid of it. The rest of the stuff, all I looked on here, all of it works on half the other ones too. It's just I don't have no use for it, so I'll get rid of that. But if somebody gives me $1,000 for it, just because, and I told them that you can't have a propane tank. That's like too big. I keep the propane tank and everything else, you know. But now I've actually bought a propane tank. It's like this. Every name has got a pipe head. So dude, some guy rolls up on a bicycle. He's like, hey man, you need an extra tank for that? I said, how much are we talking? Because I don't know, make me an offer. So you're the one selling it. I want to see what it's going to. They're worth about $250. So I don't know, man. What is it? So I don't know, $50. In my head, I'm going, chain. He said, and it's full of propane. I don't know where he got it, but it's full. Right. I said, dude, man, no. I said, dude, I'll give you 30. He's like, come on, man, 35. Bring it down. Yeah, rolled up, dropped it off, and it's full of propane, bro. It's like $30 to fill one of them up.
$30 just for the propane.
Just for that, but it's running.
Yeah, it is running out.
But yeah, man. So I got basically a free tank with propane.
Dang,
So I
dang.
might sell it without one. It doesn't have a gauge on it. Like just an old, but it works.
Yeah.
That's full.
I'm gonna save it
Well, I
there.
heard, I was like, this motherfucker's gonna.
How much did it cost to fill it up? $30?
$30. So I paid 35. Well, it's full, bro. You can't go. You can feel it, But it's got the same thing.
It's aluminum.
It's the aluminum. The steel ones ain't worth shit.
It's lightweight.
Yeah, but in my head I'm going, this fucking crackhead's gonna come back here and steal mine back.
Right.
And sell to somebody else.
Right.
You
You need a camera out there.
No,
Right?
you never know what these people
You need a
do.
camera out there.
He just showed up with the fucking. He dropped it off a couple days later. He disappeared. Shit. Some lady. Here's the money. And he came back like 2 weeks later. He got the money for that tank. They dropped it off.
Huh.
I didn't think she was looking back here. Well, I said she wanted her money. Now I asked her, I told her, the guy, what happened? She's like, oh, I don't know. He gets on the binge sometimes because he knows it somehow.
Oh, Lord.
Either way, I don't care. I got the tank. I was like, I don't need to fucking owe me money. No, I don't.
Right.
But yeah, he could roll up on a bicycle one day.
They still.
Covered in tattoos with
That's
rotten
that,
teeth.
that's that neighborhood.
Yeah, he just wanted to make it clear. I said, hey, bring it on, It's one of those things that disappears when you come back. But show you the engine I got?
You got this shit on lockdown.
No, this is what is.
I'm truly over the fucking green, dog.
Oh, this is. That's that engine.
So now what I do is start to fill in the interpretation. So I'm not going to do this whole thing because it would take a little bit too long for a video and you to watch me do it. But what I would do is interpret each one of these. So this means free earlobes, and I'm going to kind of shorten it. And this is hyper. This is free, hyper, free, and then normal. You get the idea, right? But the most important thing that I want to tell you is that when you cross this right here, this is a little trick, right? When you cross the two double heterozygotes and we have true or complete dominance in each of the characters, you should get a 9:3 to 3:1 ratio of phenotypes, phenotypic ratios. Now, of course, the 9 is going to be the dominant, so it's going to be individuals. There should be 9 individuals that have the dominant trait for each of the characters. So this would be free and hyper. I'm just going to shorten it. And then the 3s will represent one or the other dominance, and then, of course, the other one would be recessive. So we'll put free here, and then normal. And then we have attached, and then hyper. Okay, and then of course the last one will be the one that has the recessive trait for each of, or the recessive alleles for each of the traits. So that would be attached and normal. Now let's count them just to make sure. So I'm going to kind of use different colors in order to identify each one. So let's go ahead and count. We should have 9 of individuals that have free earlobes and hypercholesterolemia. Okay, so we got 1 here. We have 1 here. That's 2. And then we got 3. And then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So remember, we're looking for at least 1 capital E and at least 1 capital H for both of them. So that should be 9. So we've got that one done. So let's check that there are 3 of each of the other ones. So I'm going to use this color here. So let's go ahead and look for those that are have free earlobes and normal blood cholesterol levels. All right, so that's 1 here. And then 2 here, and 3 here. All right, so again, we're going to be looking for individuals with at least 1 capital E, and then of course those with the recessive normal should have 2 little h's. All right, so we've got that one. All right, let's move on to the attached earlobes with hypercholesterolemia. Okay, so attached, we should see the recessive condition, so they should have both recessive alleles. And then, of course, those with hypercholesterolemia have at least one of the capital H's. So we should have 3 of those. We've got 1 here, and 2, and 3. All right, got that one done. And of course, the last one is going to be the one with the both the recessive traits. All right, so here we have a 9:3 to 3:1 phenotypic ratio. Now, in terms of genotypes, right, so here it's asking for the genotypic ratios. I'm not going to ask that ever. There may be an instance where you need to draw this, a Punnett square, a very large Punnett square, and then use the numbers to calculate the probability of an individual having a particular genotype, or phenotype for that matter. So here the phenotypic ratios are going to be 9:3 to 3:1. Now, you really don't have to do this if you know the trick, right? So if you know for sure that you are crossing 2 individuals which have the same genotype, and they both are heterozygous for each of the traits, and we're dealing with complete dominance for each of the traits, then you're going to get a 9:3 to 3:1 ratio.